Mariners win 8-0. They improve to 80-65 on the season. They even the series against the Angels at a game apiece, and they are back in the third wild card spot. Talk about how it happens. Mariners get 3 in the first. Suarez singles home Julio after Julio reached on air 1-0. France singles home Teoscar 2-0. And Dylan Moore doubles home Eugenio Suarez. Ty France, bless his little heart, just can't quite make it hit to home plate, but it does give the Mariners a 3-0 lead. Mariners break things open in the fourth. JP Crawford doubles with the bases loaded to score France, Haggerty, and Moore 6-0. Julio singles home Crawford 7-0, and Eugenio Suarez. Congratulations on another 20-homer season for him. I know 20 homers isn't what we're looking for from Suarez, but does connect on that homer, 8-0. No runs after that, but the Mariners pitching staff and plenty of runs scored makes that not mean a dang thing. Not a real lot of negatives to talk about here, a lot of positives, but let's talk about the ultimate positive to me right now is Simply Seattle. Simply Seattle gives not only is sponsoring the show, but they also give you the very best in Seattle sports gear. It doesn't matter if you're a fan of the Seahawks, the Huskies, the Kraken, the Sonics, the Mariners, of course, Storm, everybody you could possibly be looking for Seattle sports related, you can go get. And once you find all that great stuff, you can use promo code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off of your order at checkout. MOLLYWHOP15. Link will be in the description, but we really appreciate that. Simply Seattle. Hopefully everyone had a good night tonight with the Shohei Ohtani stuff. It would have been fun to see Ohtani in the lineup, but those shirts are awesome, and I hope everybody had a really good time. And once again, thank you, Simply Seattle. The only negative here, Cal had a tough game. Just missed a homer in the fourth. Just missed. By the way, apologize for this video being so late. I didn't get to start watching until 9 o'clock. I watched the game at 1.5 speed. I had already known what had happened, but wanted to watch it because, I wanted to see how he looked, how people looked. And by he, let's just get into the positives now. Bryan Woo was fantastic. Yes, it was against an absolute crap shack of a lineup, but he pitched phenomenally. He was ahead in the count 16 of 21 times to start. You can't ask for more than that. That is so big. So big. And he had swing and miss stuff today, 20 swings and misses. Again, it certainly helps when you're facing a lineup that would rank among the worst in baseball, for a full season. And even now, obviously, counts too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if you put this lineup out every single day, you'd be looking at a 60 and 102 team. It's bad. It's real bad. But Woo passed the eye test today. He passed the eye test and then some. And I was very nervous because he hasn't passed it in a while. 67 of 83 pitches for strikes, 8 strikeouts, 5 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball in a beyond huge game. I think you could argue, I don't like saying this, I think you could argue that a loss here would have been worse than a win. I hate that. I hate saying that, but it's true. Had the Mariners lost this game today, I don't know what the heck we're talking about. They'd still be in it. But losing 9 of 12, guaranteeing a series loss to a team that is not trying whatsoever, that would have been rough. But luckily, we'll never find out. We'll never find out because they get this win, and you got a real good chance for a win tomorrow. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. The offense was strong tonight. And what was nice to see was you got 2 really big efforts from 2 guys who have disappointed for the most part this year. Eugenio Suarez has not looked very good as of late. And he gets on 3 times. He hits that homer. He gets the big hit in the first inning to kind of get things jump started. Really nice day from him. And really nice day from Ty France. Couple hits. Drives in the run. Scores another one. We'll take it. We'll beyond take it. Anybody who wants to go 2 for 3, get on a couple times, we'll take. Nice day from Julio. Reaches 3 times. I know 1 is on an air. I think it's fair to say that he, in tennis, they call them forced errors and unforced errors. I think he forced that error a little bit. Moustakas was getting ready to have to make a good throw. It's no doubt an error. Don't get me wrong. But that's what speed does is you rush infielders. You get guys who need to feel the need to get set much quicker and rush the process. Julio does that. Julio absolutely does that and does get that RBI to just kind of cement the blowout. And he's playing so well right now. I hate that yesterday. And by the way, real quick too, thank you everyone who came out for the live. It's very spur of the moment live taping of Mile Wide. Just, I wanted to give people a chance to vent, give me a chance to vent, maybe answer some of your questions. I'm going to try to do another one probably on Saturday. I'll have to look at the schedule and stuff like that, but I'd like to do another one soon. I won't be able to do it on tomorrow. I won't be able to do it on Friday. We could maybe do something live on Thursday. I'll see. But those of you who are interested in something like that, make sure you're subscribed. So you'll know when I go live, and also follow me on that website so you know when I post the link and stuff like that. All that crap. You needed this one. You had to have this one. It just would have been the vibes would have been bad. The vibes would have been real bad with a loss here. And you did what you're supposed to do against bad baseball teams. You beat the crap out of them. Absolutely shellacked them. Dominated from moment one. Oh, and the bullpen. Look, low leverage situation, to say the very least. But Bizzardo and Leon were fantastic. Fantastic. You can see why Bizzardo has been waived and claimed so many times. It's not a question of stuff with him. It's a question about whether or not he can throw enough consistent strikes. He did today, getting 2 1/3 innings, getting to save your high leverage guys in an 8-0 game. That's massive. That is absolutely massive. And Leon does his job too. More than does his job. Well, not more, just does his job. Nice to build a big lead so you can use guys like that, of course. But it's also nice that once you build that big lead, that you don't have to rely on the Brash, the Munoz, the Topaz, who, even though, outside of Brash, those guys aren't pitching all that well. It's nice to get them some rest. A lot of people have been arguing, I guess is the right word, or debating, whatever you want to call it, about how much the Seawald trade hurt the bullpen. And some people have pointed out, well, look what happened after the trade. They had a fantastic August that was buoyed by Canzone and Rojas, and the bullpen pitched just fine in August. And yeah, the bullpen did pitch just fine in August. And yes, Canzone and Rojas helped you more than hurt you. But if you don't think this bullpen has been hurt by the loss of Seawald, if you don't think that the high leverage guys have had to be worked ever so much harder since that trade, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't, because I just vehemently disagree with you. I don't hate that trade. I'm going to say it for the very last time. I don't hate that trade on November 1st of 2022 or 2023. I hated that trade on July 30th of 2023. Because it seems that people think that's the only way that they could have upgraded upgraded in second base and left field. That's nonsense. That's absolute hogwash. Anyway, my personal opinion is that bullpen took it not only hurt the high leverage stuff, it hurt everybody, because everybody's role got amplified and everybody was forced to be used a lot more. Now, it also hurt that the starting pitching wasn't upgraded. Of course, 40% of your roster is 40% of your starting rotation is rookies. And for the most part, those rookies have been shaky at best. Shaky at best. And that's obviously hurt your bullpen a lot too. Anyway, I just wanted to address that because there were a lot of people disagreeing with my take that the bullpen has been hurt quite a bit by that trade. It's a weird thing that I have to defend, but here I go. Great to see Suarez bounce back after one of his worst games as a Mariner. And folks, that's saying something considering how bad I think Eugenio Suarez has looked in September. But yesterday was like, wow, bad. Wow, bad. Today was great. And here's hoping this leads to a lot more success. Also, I think that 3-run double by Crawford, not only did it just kind of not punctuate, but like set the blowout up. Goodness gracious, it's hard to talk at 11:16 at night. Uh, it was nice to see because he's been scuffling. JP has not had a lot of success over these last couple of weeks. No, this was a guy whose on base percentage was getting pretty close to 400. That has dropped to 378, and an average that was in the 270s that's dropped to 263. And he looked like he's been pressing a little bit to me. And his other 4 at bats weren't great, but he more than did the job on that one, and it was huge. It was huge, especially, narratives get overrated, and we remember just the most recent thing, right? That's what we remember is the most recent event. And you can't help but remember what happened, bases loaded, nobody out last night in the bottom of the ninth. To say you didn't get the job done there is the understatement of understatements. To get a big hit like that, massive. Probably huge for JP's confidence, and obviously huge for the fact that you no longer had to manage this game as a high leverage one. It was one that allowed you to use Woo into the 6th, and one that allows you to use your 2 worst bullpen options, in my humble estimation. I don't think the Angels have announced a starter for tomorrow. I know the Mariners have a pretty good pitcher going. His name is Luis Castillo. It would be awesome if Castillo could give you 7 innings of 1-run baseball or so. Just because if he could do that, and you can score 5 or 6 runs or something like that, and not have to use the high leverage guys again, and to have them ready for this Angels series, that'd be big. That would be really big. Excuse me, this Dodgers series. They're both in LA. What can you do? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But nice to break a 4-game losing streak. Nice to look good doing it. Nice to see a flash of what Bryan Woo can be in the coming years. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do with their arms next year. Because, you're not going to have Robbie Ray until July-ish, give or take. I do think that you might be tempted to move one of those guys, like while the selling high on one of those guys might be kind of tempting. But knowing that the lack of starting pitching depth this year hurt the Seattle Mariners. There's no question about it. Hurt partially by the fact that Chris Flexen just absolutely stunk out loud, and they couldn't have seen that completely coming, right? None of us did. But also knowing that, you lost a good portion of you lost both of your lefties due to injury fairly early in the season. You got 1 start out of Robbie Way. Turned into Elmer Fudd there. You got 1 start out of Robbie Ray and have not had Marco back for a long time. So be interesting to see how they handle that. If they're aggressive and add another starter, or if they rely on this, or if they're even willing to move a guy like Woo in for a bat. Be very curious to see how it goes. But for now, the other thing I wanted to mention too is I love the way that they set up this rotation. Because Woo's next start now will not be until Monday against Oakland. Love that. Love that. I would be tempted, and I know George Kirby has not been great, to maybe move around Miller and Kirby, uh, just so that you could get um, Kirby going against Texas instead of Miller against Texas. But that's just me. Got to get there. And fortunately for the Seattle Mariners, they completely control their own destiny thanks to some help. Appreciate the help. Appreciate the help from Oakland too. Oakland's got a chance to sweep Houston. Baseball is so weird. Please hit like and subscribe. Please follow me on that website. You can see my username right there. Sports Sometimes Podcast, Sportstopia Fantasy Fire and Ice Podcast, and the RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Podcast. Appreciate you guys following all of that stuff and giving it a check out. It means a lot. Big win. Now go get a series win, and it'll make the loss on Monday less bad.